Tonight's story isn't about a serial killer. It isn't about a dramatic courtroom confession. It isn't about a case that made international headlines. This one is quieter than that. It's about a file that slowly slipped to the bottom of a cabinet. A case that started with urgency and ended with silence. Because sometimes, the most chilling mysteries aren't the ones that explode in the news. They're the ones that quietly disappear. This is the case police quietly gave up on. And before we're done, you'll have to decide whether they stopped because they had no choice, or because they were never meant to solve it. Stay with me. It was 6:42 a.m. on a Monday when the 911 call came in. A jogger running along the old railway trail in Ashford County spotted something unusual. A car, parked awkwardly near a maintenance road. Driver's door slightly open. Engine cold. No one inside. The vehicle belonged to 34-year-old Elena Vargas, a high school science teacher. No criminal record, no known enemies, no history of disappearing without notice. Inside the car, police found her purse on the passenger seat, wallet inside, cash untouched. Her phone was in the cup holder, battery dead. There were no signs of a struggle, no blood, no broken glass, just absence. Elena had left her home at 5:15 a.m. She texted her sister at 5:21. Meeting someone early, will explain later. That was the last message she ever sent. When investigators pulled her call logs, they found a single outgoing call at 4:58 a.m. Duration, 17 seconds. The number was saved under a single letter, M. Police quickly identified M as Marcus Hale, a local real estate developer, well known in Ashford County, respected, connected, charitable. Marcus admitted he knew Elena. They had dated briefly 2 years earlier. It ended amicably, he told detectives. He denied any recent contact beyond a few casual texts months prior. When confronted with the 4:58 a.m. call, Marcus claimed he was asleep. His phone records showed the call had gone unanswered. Tower data placed his phone at his home. But something didn't sit right with detectives, because Elena had told a colleague the previous week, "I found something I wasn't supposed to see." At first, police assumed the comment referred to a relationship issue. Maybe Elena and Marcus had reconnected. Maybe there was tension. But then, during a search of Elena's home, investigators found a locked filing box beneath her bed. Inside were printed documents, property maps, zoning permits, inspection reports, all related to a new housing development project on the edge of town, a project led by Marcus Hale's company. The same development that had sparked minor controversy over environmental concerns. The same development built on what used to be protected wetlands. Elena wasn't just a teacher. Before that, she had studied environmental chemistry. Her background gave her the ability to read soil analysis reports and water quality data, and the documents in her filing box were annotated, highlighted, questioned. Some pages had handwritten notes in the margins. Levels altered, data inconsistent with previous report. Why no independent review? When police asked Marcus about the development concerns, he seemed unfazed. All inspections were approved, he said. Everything was legal. And technically, he wasn't wrong. The project had passed review, signed off by county officials. Construction had already begun. Then investigators discovered something else. Elena had emailed a journalist 3 days before she vanished. The subject line read, "Urgent, environmental cover-up?" The body of the email was short. "I have documents that suggest falsified contamination reports tied to the Ashford Ridge project. I need to meet, in person only." The journalist replied asking for details. Elena never responded. Now the case shifted. This was no longer just a missing person report. This was potentially a whistleblower disappearance. Detectives requested a warrant to search Marcus Hale's office computers. The request was denied. Insufficient probable cause. They asked for access to internal environmental audits from the county planning department. Delayed. Then partially granted. Several files were missing due to clerical archiving errors. Meanwhile, divers searched a nearby lake. Search dogs combed wooded areas around the railway trail. Helicopters scanned farmland. Nothing. No body, no clothing, no signs of a struggle. It was as if Elena had stepped out of her car and evaporated. Weeks turned into months. Public interest dwindled. Ashford County wasn't a place used to high-profile crime. Local news stations moved on. The housing development continued rising from the ground. Homes sold quickly. Profits rolled in. Then came the first crack in the official narrative. A maintenance worker for the county planning office contacted police anonymously. He claimed he'd seen revised contamination reports being printed after initial inspections. When detectives tried to locate him for a formal statement, he declined. He said he couldn't afford to get involved. Shortly after, he transferred to another county. No further cooperation. The lead investigator, Detective Rowan Pierce, began documenting inconsistencies. He noted time gaps in Marcus Hale's phone records the morning Elena disappeared. Although tower pings placed Marcus at home, his phone appeared inactive for nearly 90 minutes, between 5 a.m. and 6:30 a.m. Pierce suspected the phone may have been left behind intentionally. He requested vehicle GPS data from Marcus's luxury SUV. Request denied. Privacy concerns. Insufficient cause. Inside the department, pressure mounted. Unofficially. No one told Pierce to stop, but resources grew scarce. Other cases demanded attention. Staffing shortages were cited. The missing person unit was reassigned to a homicide investigation in a neighboring city. Elena's case file grew thicker, but colder. 3 months after her disappearance, police publicly announced there was no evidence of foul play. They suggested Elena may have left voluntarily. Friends and family were stunned. She had future lesson plans scheduled, bills paid in advance, a vacation booked for the following month. Her passport remained in her home, her bank account untouched, her social media inactive. Then, something unsettling happened. Residents who moved into Ashford Ridge, Marcus Hale's development, began reporting water discoloration, strange metallic taste, pets falling ill. County officials conducted tests. Results came back within acceptable limits. Independent testing was discouraged. When one homeowner attempted to publish third-party lab findings online, the post was quickly taken down following a legal warning. Detective Pierce pushed for a deeper probe into environmental data tampering. Within weeks, he was reassigned to administrative duty. Official reason: departmental restructuring. Elena's case was transferred to a new detective. Progress stalled. Interviews were not revisited. Leads went cold. 6 months later, the case status changed from active to inactive pending new evidence. The announcement was brief. No press conference, no explanation. Just a quiet update on the department's website. But the story didn't end there. A year after Elena vanished, a hiker exploring a remote wooded area 20 miles from where her car was found discovered a burned metal container. Inside were partially melted documents, fragments of printed soil analysis reports. One page still legible enough to read a handwritten note in the margin. "They know I copied this." DNA testing on the container yielded no usable results, no fingerprints, no definitive link. Authorities stated the find was inconclusive. Marcus Hale's company continued thriving. He expanded into neighboring counties, donated to local political campaigns, hosted charity galas, spoke publicly about sustainable community growth. When asked in a radio interview about Elena Vargas, he said, "It's tragic. I hope she's found someday." 5 years have now passed. Elena's sister still posts monthly reminders online, still organizes small vigils. Attendance grows smaller each year. The development stands fully occupied. Children play in backyards built on what used to be wetlands. The water runs clear, at least on the surface. So what happened that morning at 5:15 a.m.? Did Elena agree to meet Marcus? Did someone else intercept her? Did she uncover proof strong enough to threaten powerful interests? Was her disappearance a warning? Or is this all coincidence layered over tragedy? Police maintain there is no evidence tying her case to the development. No proof of homicide, no proof of abduction, no body, no confession, no arrest. But here's what remains. A teacher who feared she had found something dangerous. A developer with influence and unanswered questions. Altered reports, denied warrants, a reassigned detective, and a case that slowly, quietly, stopped moving. Some mysteries explode with chaos. Others dissolve into bureaucracy, into paperwork, into phrases like insufficient cause, into files stamped inactive. Because not every case ends in handcuffs. Some end in silence. And silence, sometimes, protects more than it reveals. If Elena Vargas walked into something she wasn't meant to uncover, then someone knows exactly where the truth is buried. And until that truth surfaces, this will remain the case police quietly gave up on, not solved, not closed, just set aside. And sometimes, that's the most unsettling ending of all.